Hey, what is up guys? This is Anthony, aka BatBomb82, and today I'll be doing a review of the DC Multiverse Rebirth Batman. Now, taking a look at the front, we can see that the figure is showcasing your standard Multiverse window box packaging. We can also see an image of the character on the bottom left. Turning the box around, we can see an image of the Collect and Connect rookie figure. And on the left, we can see all the other figures from this wave, in which we can see Batman is numbered at number 1. So with the box out of the way, let's crack this figure open and see what we have inside. And here is Batman out of the box. And man, I'm gonna say it, this figure is kind of disappointing. It's by no means a terrible figure, but in my opinion, there are quite a bit of things wrong with it. Mattel has done such a better job with previous Batman figures, and I think they have really downgraded with this one. He lacks accessories, among a few other problems that kind of irk me. So with this figure finally in hand, let's take a closer look at Rebirth Batman. Alright guys, now let's take a closer look at Batman here. Now, I'm going to be very honest. As a lot of you know, I am a die-hard Batman fan. Very hardcore Batman fan. And I actually do both like and hate this current design of the Batsuit. But honestly, I kind of don't like this figure. I wouldn't go as far as to say that I hate it. But in my opinion, it's really not that good. This is probably one of the worst Batman figures that they've made in quite a while. There's just a lot of things wrong with it as far as I'm concerned, in my opinion, that I just really do not like. So let's take a look at it. Okay, so now the figure itself, I will say it's not a bad figure by any means. You know, I do like the sculpt and whatnot. I really like the cape. I like how it kind of billows out a bit. It looks really good. It is a softer plastic, and I kind of do like the fact that it does come over the shoulders, that how it drapes like that. I think it's pretty cool. And because it is softer plastic, it doesn't really hinder articulation whatsoever, so I do kind of like that. The sculpting of the gauntlets looks really good. I do like that pretty good. Like I said, for everything, for the most part, looks pretty good as far as, for the most part, for the aesthetics. I just have little minor nitpicks here and there. I think the boots came out really nice. I love how these sculpted knee pads came out like that. The Bat logo itself looks pretty good for the most part. I honestly do not like this head at all. I think he has a really big forehead right there. I don't know why, it just looks really odd to me. Really oddly shaped, and my issue with that is it looks a little too cartoony, which I don't think is what it should be. I really feel like Mattel is taking a step back, backwards, because you know some of their earlier Batman figures were just really nicely sculpted in detail, and I know that was that was mostly stuff from the Four Horsemen, but these, like I said, they're not garbage. But they're still not as good as that, and they're not even getting better. That's what kind of really annoys me. And real quick, his only accessory is this, the right leg for the rookie Collect and Connect figure. Now, Batman is known for having all kinds of gadgets and weapons and stuff like that. He comes with 0 accessories. That's unacceptable. Mattel is just straight up being cheap. I love Batman. He could have at least come with a Batarang or a grapple gun, something. You know, Mattel does have molds for pre-existing Batarangs, at least a dozen different types of Batarangs. They could have gave us at least one, but they chose to opt us and give us absolutely nothing, which I think is complete garbage. And these figures are $20 plus, and you can't give us one Batarang? That's horse crap. I do not like that whatsoever. Another thing I don't like is this awkward, like, yellowish orange color around the logo and on the belt. The belt looks very, very dull. I do not like that at all. The sculpt of it looks good because it's accurate to, like, the comic book and whatnot, but the color is just this weird, awkward, flat, just bland yellowish orange, which I do not like at all. Again, you can actually kind of see right here, even on the hip right there, right here, there's like this dry brushing of like black. You can see it, you don't see it on this side, but it's over here, and it just looks horrible. So that's probably not a universal problem, but still, it stands out to me, which I just, again, do not like. The inline of the cape is purple, which I think is actually kind of cool, very old school. And other than that, the figure, like I said, for the most part, the figure is pretty decent for what it is. It really is just a step backwards from Mattel, and I'm starting to get a little pissed off because that shouldn't be happening. They should be improving, much like Hasbro is with their Marvel Legends figures. So with that said, let's take a look at articulation. So the head does rotate just like that. It is kind of ball jointed, so it does roll around a little bit, pivot side to side a bit. It doesn't really look up and down all that much. Arms can go all the way up, like I said, not hindered by the cape, and all the way down and out. Rotate at the bicep, single bend at the elbow, rotation at the wrist. We do get an ab crunch in there. That actually goes crunches back and forth pretty well for the most part. Rotation at the waist, hip joints that kick forward that much, back about that far. We get those weird T-joints that Mattel's known for. They kick out about that far. Rotation just above the knee, right there in the lower thigh. Single bend at the knee, like so. We get ankle joints that are supposed to go up and down, but do absolutely nothing. No rotation, no rocker, no toe articulation. So those joints, there we go. Okay, there we go. I had to work them a bit. So there you go. The toes do point up and down. So overall, again, I'm such a hardcore Batman fan that I can't say I hate it. It's just not a really good figure. If it's really cool if you want like this version of the Batsuit in Mattel form, this is going to be your best way to get it. And I still think he looks pretty good. There's just a lot of small problems to me. So if, like, again, if you're a die-hard Batman fan, you're going to want him. But for a lot of you, I can see this easily as being a pass. So for a quick size comparison, here he is standing next to a Marvel Legends Captain America figure, as well as a DCUC Batman figure. And just for fun, here he is standing next to little Lego Bat-Bomb. So there it is, guys, my review of the DC Multiverse Rebirth Batman. Now overall, this figure is kind of disappointing. I am purely a die-hard Batman fan, and this is probably one of Mattel's worst figures. I think he does got a pretty decent sculpt, and I for the most part do like his paint apps. But the lack of accessories is just unacceptable. Some of the colors like that yellow and orange are just really terrible to me, and I cannot stand that head sculpt. It does not fit this figure whatsoever. So if you really do love Batman, then I think you might like it, but I can understand just not wanting it. So please comment, like, and subscribe. Stay nerdy, my friends. Peace.